I can appreciate that, yes, you are actually a Vaishnava. Because only a Vaishnava can overwhelm the bitterness of this world and the experiences of bitterness with various interactions in this world with the overwhelming sweetness emanating from Krishna's reciprocation. I was sharing, this story that we were doing these shloka classes for some of our youth in our temple. And then half an hour shloka class I started 2008. But the membership was very less. Not all the youth was attending. So I decided that whoever attends the class at the end, every Friday, once a week class was there, we would give sweet rice as an inspiration, incentive to encourage attendance. Then the attendance became 100%. So 6:30 to 7, it was full house. Then at 7, whoever attended, we would share the sweet rice. But then what happened was, just 3 months later, after we began, I got busy with other projects. So I stopped that shloka class. The shloka class stopped in 2008. But every Friday till date, in those youth classes, sweet rice distribution is still going on. Even 10 years later. Because recently I was there and they told me that, it is time. I said, for what? For sweet rice. I said, but we stopped that shloka classes long time. I said, so what? We have a natural taste for sweet rice. So when we have natural taste for something, we do not need external inspiration. It is inbuilt. So therefore, attraction is the prerequisite for absorption. If we do not have attraction for something, how we will be absorbed? It is not possible. And therefore, somebody was arguing with me that all of you Hare Krishnas are always telling me chant 16 rounds, 16 rounds. Where in Gita Krishna is telling to Arjuna chant 16 rounds? I said Krishna is telling to Arjuna, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam, chant 24 hours. Prabhupada mercifully said 16 rounds, 2 hours. Which is better? He said, Prabhupada ki jai. Thank God. Otherwise, Satatam would be impossible. And somebody was arguing with me. We never find in the Mahabharat war Krishna asking Arjuna, Arjuna, have you finished your mala? Has Krishna ever asked that? Or during the battle, we do not find Arjuna telling Krishna, take the chariot behind that tree, 4 more rounds to go. Let me complete my rounds. No. Because Arjuna is a devotee who is constantly absorbed in Krishna. And therefore, he is not to be considered on a sadhaka level. So I was asking this person, so what is your problem? He said, I don't like all of you chanting loudly, because bhakti must be done silently, quietly, not to make a show. So I said, okay, so when do you chant? He said, silently. So much silent, even I don't know what I'm doing. So actually the whole idea of fixed number of rounds is because we do not have a natural attraction for the holy name, we need to be able to chant some rounds to some extent. And therefore, here we find that Maharaj Parikshit was on such a platform that when he is cursed to die in 7 days and 7 nights, he is not overwhelmed by bitterness of feeling of revenge. The sweetness of bhakti is so overwhelmingly powerful within his heart that he decides to just sit and hear the Harikatha from those devotees, because he is gone at the level of being a Siddha. And therefore he says, please describe Dashatvalam Gayata Vishnu Gatha. Describe the glories of Krishna. I am willing to hear this. And so Shukadeva Goswami arrives there. And when Shukadeva Goswami arrives in the midst, Maharaj Parikshit, he offers obeisances to Shukadeva Goswami, offers him a beautiful seat to sit. And he says Yasya samsmarana pumsam sadyo shuddhyanti vaigraha kim punar darshana sparsha pada shauchasanadibhi. That by remembering great souls like you, by actually serving the lotus feet of great souls like you, one becomes completely purified. Kim punar darshana sparsha pada shauchasanadi. What to speak of washing the dust of the lotus feet of great souls like you? How much we are purified. Api me Bhagavan Prita Krishna Pandusta Priya Paitra Satsevya Prityartam Yatagotra Syata Bandhava. And he says, at this moment when I need help the most, because we can plan our education, we can plan our career, we can plan even our marriage to some extent, we can plan various things in our life to a great degree of meticulous detail, but nobody can plan their moment of death. Nobody can plan when disaster will strike. And therefore, to a person like Maharaj Parikshit, who was used to being the Samrat, being the king, who was used to only giving orders and being in control of every situation, to be out of control was overwhelmingly difficult to handle. But in such a situation, he is seeing that Shukadeva Goswami has come and he is going to speak Harikatha. And Maharaj Parikshit becomes very happy and glorifies him and says, the reason you are here is not because of my spiritual qualification. The reason you are here is because I am the grandson of the Pandavas. And Krishna loves the Pandavas, Krishna loves my forefathers, Krishna loves my grandfathers. And therefore Srila Prabhupada explains that if you want to assist and help your family members in the best possible manner, you want to provide the greatest protection to your family members, you want to bestow the greatest gift to those who are near and dear to you, the best way to do that is by becoming Krishna conscious and by making Krishna part of your family. Krishnera sansara karo chhadi anachar. Jive daya sarva dharmasar. So this is the means by which we can make Krishna part of our family. When Krishna becomes close to us, he takes care not only of us, but practically all of those who are close to us. And this is a very beautiful section in the Srimad Bhagavatam where Parikshit Maharaj is glorifying Pandavas. That the reason Shukadeva Goswami is here is because of the connection of the Pandavas to Krishna. And therefore Krishna has been tracking not only the welfare of the Pandavas, but Krishna has been closely monitoring what is going on with those who are in the family of the Pandavas even after the Pandavas have left. And this degree of a well-wishing friend we cannot imagine within this world. And therefore, it is described, Acharyare Shraddha Bhakti Graha Sampadhane Sakala Safala Hoila Prabhur Aradhane Sarva Bhauma Grahe Dasa Dasiye Kukur Seh Mora Priya Anya Janar Hudur Ghare Krishna Bhaji More Kura Ashirvade Nilachale Asiyena Tomar Prasade. Mahaprabhu is saying, please give me your blessings, Bhattacharya, because you are worshipping Krishna so nicely at home. You have the power to give me blessings. Because Bhattacharya in your family, you are practicing Krishna's devotional service so nicely, even if there is a dog in your house, he will be delivered because of connection to your family. And therefore Advaita Acharya utilized everything in his life, including Shraddha, Bhakti, Griha, Sampat, Dhan, Sakala Safala. Everything became successful because he used it in Krishna's service. Therefore, even if we are unsuccessful in perfecting our Krishna consciousness, developing a semblance of a relationship with Krishna in human life will give more success and satisfaction in life than being successful in having a perfect relationship with objects, situations, circumstances, and people of this world. And that's what the Srimad Bhagavatam is trying to indicate. That Maharaj Parikshit's life was shortened suddenly. Was it a failure? No. It was all success because he attempted a relationship with Krishna. When I joined ISKCON and my family members got bewildered, so at that time I organized a satsang for them in my hometown, and more than 80 to 100 family members attended. And I took one more devotee with me, and he gave a whole talk on how when somebody becomes a devotee, several generations of the family is liberated. In the 7th canto it is described. Trisaptibi pita puta pitribi sahte naga. So this devotee was pointing to me and saying, because he has now joined ISKCON, several generations of all your family members will be delivered, including all of you. So everybody started clapping. And they were smiling and beaming. And after the lecture, one cousin came up to me and said, please continue chanting. Don't stop. If you have any problem, let me know. I did not know that your practice is going to help me so much. But this is precisely what Maharaj Parikshit is acknowledging, that I am getting the benefit of the satsanga of Shukadeva Goswami thanks to the credits accumulated by my forefathers. Durapahi alpatapasa seva vaikuntha vartmasu yatropagyate nityam deva devo janardana durlabho manavo deho dehinam kshana bhangura tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priyadarshanam. The human life is very rare, but rarer still is to get the association of devotees. And rarest is to get the chance to hear in the association of devotees. And rarest of the rare is to get the opportunity to hear and chant in the association of devotees repeatedly, day in and day out. And thanks to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, who has created this ISKCON society and satsang of Vaishnavas, we are getting an opportunity to hear and chant repeatedly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So therefore, Parikshit Maharaj requests Shukadeva Goswami to speak, glorify the glories of the Lord, explain the glories of the Lord. And so Shukadeva Goswami begins the 2nd canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam by glorifying Maharaj Parikshit's questions. And he says, Variyan eshate prashna krito lokahitam nripa atmavit sarvata pumsa shrota vyadishu yat paraha nidraya hriyate naktam vyavayena chavavaya divacharta haye rajan kutumba bharnena va deha patya kalatradishu atma sainyeshu asatsu api Tesham pramattam nidhanam pasyan api na pashyati. He says, wonderful question you have asked, because people can ask so many questions, and in response to those questions there can be so many answers. But this discussion, which is completely focused on hearing and chanting the glories of Krishna, does the greatest benefit, because by this we are able to remember Krishna, and by remembering Krishna at the time of death, we are actually able to attain Krishna's abode. And therefore here, he is glorifying these questions which is asked by Maharaj Parikshit by saying, this is the best question which you can ask, because the answer contains the ultimate goal of life, remembering Krishna. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada wrote his books and mentioned all of these purports in such elaborate detail so that we can actually get absorbed in those literatures. Srila Prabhupada, when he came to the West, he practically had very little help. But as he started spreading the Krishna consciousness movement, he found more and more people getting connected. And then Prabhupada said, if you like to please me, then distribute my books. And therefore, when we distribute Srila Prabhupada's books, we bring people in connection with this literature, this Harikatha, which is very, very crucial. I was distributing books in the local train in Mumbai, and it was so crowded. Some of you have experience of traveling in the local trains in Mumbai. You know, one professor in one college was asking me, the trains in Mumbai are so crowded, I don't know what you guys get by traveling in those trains. I said, free massage. So I entered into the train with a book bag, and all of a sudden there were two people. One locked my one hand, another locked my another hand, and I could not move. And right in front of me, someone came, looked at my face and said, are you Hare Krishna? I said, yes, of course. Who else dresses like this? So they said, can I have a Gita? I said, you can see I cannot move my hand, but you can pick up one Gita from the bag. So he picked up the Gita from the bag, and then he said, how much? I said, 70 rupees. He took out 100 rupees. I said, I cannot move. Put the 100 rupees in my pocket, take 30 rupees back. So he put the 100 rupees in my pocket, took the 30 rupees back. Whole transaction of Gita was done without my moving. I realized I am not the doer. Ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. So, Srila Prabhupada just spent significant amount of time not just buying property, setting up temples, creating deities and installing deities, but he spent 5 to 7 hours every night writing purports to these books. So therefore, he may have spent a lot of time doing management, organization, dealing with people and things. But let us not forget that he spent 5 to 7 hours every night with the Srimad Bhagavatam. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is the person who is personifying the life of Srimad Bhagavatam. Keha nache keha gaye Sri Krishna Gopal Premete bhasila loka stri vridha abal Dekhi Nityananda Prabhu ko he bhakta gane Ei rupe nritya aage hobe grame grame Matta simha pray Prabhu kori lagaman Prema veshe yai kori Nama Sankirtan Agya Mala Paya Harshe Namaskar Kori Ananda Dakshina Deshe Chale Gaur Hari. The Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he started distributing this Harinam Sankirtan far and wide, because the essence of the Srimad Bhagavatam is how we can remember Krishna at every moment, deal with devotees in such a way that Krishna is pleased. And when Krishna is pleased, he reciprocates with us. He allows us to remember him. And therefore, Jiva Goswami says, if you are desirous of going back home, back to Godhead, back to the spiritual world, you must do two things. You must be attentive in your chanting. You must be attentive to your seva. And you must be attentive in dealing with sevaks. Sevaks means the servants or the devotees. So one must be attentive in one's practice of Krishna consciousness, sadhana and seva, and one must be attentive in one's dealings with the Vaishnavas. Why? Because when we are inattentive either in our chanting or our devotional practices, if we are inattentive in our seva or inattentive with sevaks, then by their displeasure, Krishna is displeased. And when Krishna is displeased, he does not allow us to remember him. And therefore, when Maharaj Parikshit is cursed by Shringi, Shukdev Goswami is acknowledging the fact that in such a situation, what is the question you are asking me? You are not asking me, how could Shringi do this to me? How dare Shringi do this to me? Why Shringi did like this to me? What does Shringi think of himself? Shringi, hi. He did not ask questions like this. He asked question, what should be the duty of a person at every moment, what should be the duty of a person at the time of death. Because when things go wrong, we really become agitated. And we really start feeling, why this is going on in my life? And therefore, he did not feel like that. We were, doing a yatra in Vrindavan many years ago. And then, as part of the yatra, we were cooking. And we cooked, for many days. And then one day someone came up and said, allow us also to cook. Because we also want the satisfaction of pleasing the devotees. So I asked them, Baba, do you know how to cook? They said, unless you give us chance, how we'll learn? Well, but we are cooking for 3,000-4,000 people. How many you can cook for? He said, 100 people we can easily cook, but you have to empower us, Prabhu. Without empowerment and allowing us to make mistakes, how we'll grow? So then I thought, okay, all glories to empowerment. So we allowed them. So they were new, and so they were making poha, chipped rice. It turned out to be a little hard. And when it was hard, I tasted it, I realized today is going to be a hard day for me. Because every person who will meet me will give some feedback. So I was trying to escape from there, and at that moment, one devotee who is very, very famous for giving feedbacks and who loves feedback Priya Das, he came right in front of me and he said, what you guys cooked today, it was so hard, all my 32 teeth fell out. How could you make such chipped rice? This is not the way to cook chipped rice. I said, what chipped rice? It was cornflakes. You are supposed to have eaten it along with your herbal tea. He said, what? You never told me. I said, you never asked me. Jai Shri Radha Shyam Sundar Bhagavan ki. So he got sufficiently distracted, bewildered, and he left. So of course, at that moment I was very disturbed that what is this? We are trying our best to serve and this is the feedback we are getting. This is now how things should be. And so naturally we become filled with a lot of negative emotions. And so here, the most crucial factor which Shukadeva Goswami is acknowledging in Parikshit is that although he has every reason to feel bitter, angry, disgruntled, and feel rebellious, but he is asking the right questions on what I should do in this situation to remember Krishna. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has specifically come to give us this wonderful grace by which we can be in the glorious association of the Vaishnavas and hear and chant about Krishna and Krishna's qualities and understand he is so merciful that whatever may be going on in my life is an acknowledgement of his grace to bring me closer to him. Padbhyam bhakta hridisthabhyam mandabhyam lokavanditaihi angam yasyah samakramya bhagavan apitatstanam yato dhanapi sasvargam avapa jananim gatim Krishna bhukta stanakshira kim uggavonu matara. That when Putana tried to poison Krishna, Krishna only saw Putana's intention. That although she was trying to kill me, but she was also trying to feed me milk. And therefore I consider her mother. And Krishna gave liberation. Therefore, a devotee is in that state of positive consciousness, acknowledging Krishna's unlimited qualities of compassion and grace. And this compassion in the heart of Krishna flows through the hearts of the Vaishnavas. And they became the channels and the conduits for allowing Krishna's will to flow. And so, sadhunam samachittanam sutaramat kritatmanam darshanam no bhaved bandha pumsa akshnor savitur yatha. When the Vaishnavas who carry genuine Vaishnava qualities in their heart, वैष्णवेर गुणग्राही न देखाए दोष, काय मने वाक्य करे Vaishnava santosh. When the Vaishnavas, they only see good qualities and they do not see any faults. Then Chaitanya Nityanande Tara Parama Vishwas, Chaitanya Charitre Tara Parama Ullas. Sri Rupa Raghunath Charaner Abel, Yarasmrte Siddha Hoe, Vanchita Sakal, Murkha Neech Kshudramoy Vishay Lalas, Vaishnavagya Bole Kore Eteka Sahas. When we have faith in the Vaishnavas and their grace and their blessings, then gradually Krishna becomes pleased and allows us His will to remember Him. Because without His grace, without His will, without His permission, it is not possible for us to remember Him. Although the tongue may be vibrating His name, but the heart and the mind can only become absorbed in Him when He is pleased with us. And He is pleased with us when He sees that we are attentive in our sadhana, we are absorbed in our sadhana, and we are attentive in our dealings with the Vaishnavas. And therefore, love means when we are willing to serve in spite of all kinds of painful conditions, where in a relationship there is scarcity, impediment, discomfort and unhappiness, still one is willing to serve. That is a symptom of love. Like, we were doing yatra in Mayapur many years ago, and devotees started complaining that every day we are getting khichdi or poha or upma or this or that. We should have pav bhaji also. And I said, Arey Baba, pav bhaji, very difficult to make. And they started saying, Arey Prabhu, you can do anything. You can move mountains. You are like this, you are like that. And I also got carried away. I said, yeah, okay. If you are saying, then I can do it, no problem. So we ordered for pav, from Calcutta Govindas. And the devotee said, I want to serve the Vaishnavas fresh pav. It will arrive early in the morning for breakfast. At night we will cook and send it by truck. I said, don't take such a risk. Send it one day before. He said, no, Vaishnav Seva, hot, special. And in spite of my trying my best, I could not convince him because he was in his own ecstasy. So then on the morning of the cooking of the bhaji, 4 o'clock in the morning, as I was entering kitchen, I called this devotee who had gone to get the pav from Calcutta. He was in the truck. I said, how far are you? He said, bas abhi pahunch raha hu. And he was actually 3 hours away. So many times in India it is difficult to get the right coordinates. You ask somebody where you are, just now coming. That could mean anything. So I asked him, how far are you? And he said, I am coming, but he was stuck in a traffic jam. Because that night was Kali Puja. So because of Kali Puja, all the traffic was stuck. And he was stuck in the traffic jam. And he coolly just replied to me, I am coming, you go ahead. So our bhaji, everything was cooked and ready by 7 o'clock. Devotees were on time. For Katha Kirtan, there may be delay. But for Prasadam, before time. So everyone was standing, and then the line started increasing further back, and it is the scariest sight to see the long line of Vaishnavas standing. Merciful Vaishnavas, but when they are standing in Prasadam line, and you don't have something to serve, it can be very scary. And some devotees started entering the kitchen, saying, hey, what is for menu? I said, bread and jam. This is what? Yeah, traffic jam. So I didn't have any answer, so I engaged them in some joking words. And then some devotees started saying, Arey, 2 pav par khade hain, 1 pav nahi mil raha hai. And then the line reached till the gate of Mayapur. Beyond the Gada building, right at the very gate on the road. So then the truck came half an hour late. Each moment was Yugaitam Nimeshan. And when the truck reached, there was this devotee, and when he saw that long line, he got bewildered. He asked the devotee standing there, the last person, what is this line for? And that devotee said, Suna hai Kolkata se pav aa raha hai. This devotee got so scared, he jumped out of the truck and told the driver, I am going for Ganga Snan. And then the truck came, half an hour late. But in that half an hour, we got so many realizations and so many feedbacks that we decided that this is the last day we will ever cook. We will retire. So when you are trying to please the devotees and trying to perform a service, and then things go exactly opposite to what you plan and what you imagine, then it can be very discouraging. So Prabhupada says a very beautiful point. Devotee may be perplexed, but devotee is never discouraged. Perplexity means I may think how this happened, but I will never think why I should practice. A devotee never gets a doubt why I should continue my practice. He may only get a doubt how this kind of situation manifested. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has spread this movement far and wide. And so Rupa and Sanatan say, Mora karma mora hate golai bandhiya ku vishaya vishtha garte diya che phelaiya satsanga chhadi koino asate bilas te karane lagilu ye karma bandha phas vishaya vishama visha satata khainu gaura kirtana rase magana na hoinu. What attracts us to ISKCON? Satsang. What breaks our faith in ISKCON is also satsang. So this is a very, very deep point. What brings us close to Krishna? Devotees. What takes us away from Krishna? Devotees. So therefore we have to be very careful how we deal with the devotees, because based on how we respond to various situations we are put in the association of devotees, we will please and displease Krishna. And because of displeasing Krishna, if we lose the taste, we lose the need for satsang. When we lose the need for satsang, the holy name loses its taste and we develop taste in the sense objects. And then Vishaya become more attractive than Krishna. And so Raghunath Das Goswami was always very, very humble in his dealings with the Vaishnavas and pleased the Vaishnavas and was blessed by the Vaishnavas. Yaha sarva laukaika manobhiruchya saubhagya bhuka chida krishta pachya yatraya maro panatulya kala sa prema sakhi phalavan atulya. Raghunath Das Goswami's power was not his ability to perform austerities, which was like lines on a stone. But his real power was his ability to humble himself in front of the Vaishnavas and serve them, please them. And his body language, his words and his dealings were so genuine and so dear that just by seeing him, the devotees were pleased with him. And the pleasure of the Vaishnavas released unlimited blessings upon Das Goswami. And when that shower of blessings fell upon his heart became a fertile ground for Bhakti Lata beach to grow instantly into a tree which would give the fruit of love of Krishna immediately. Saubhagya bhu kachit akrishta pacha yatraya maropana tulya kala sa prema shakhi falavan atulya. Therefore, Rupa and Sanatan tell Mahaprabhu that Prabhuragyay koila shastrera vichar brajera niguda bhakti korila prachar mora karma mora hate golai bandhiya ku vishaya vishta garthe diya che phelaiya vaman yai che chand dhorite chahe kore yai che eitan chamore uthaye antare. My dear Lord, we are so fallen. We are devoid of any good qualities, but your mercy is so unlimited that you will compensate for lack of our qualities and inundate our heart with your grace so that we can actually experience Krishna. And therefore, let us express our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada for giving us this opportunity to associate with Vaishnavas, serve the Vaishnavas, hear and chant Krishna's glories in the association of Vaishnavas. This is a privilege which is available to someone only after millions of lifetimes of accumulation of piety. But because we get it on a day in and day out basis, we may take this for granted. And therefore, we should remember that we may have the power to do various things based on our skills, but the power to remember Krishna is granted to us by Krishna's will. Mattaha smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Krishna controls his remembrance. Krishna controls his forgetfulness. And he will allow us to remember him when he sees that we are absorbed and attentive in our sadhana and seva, and attentive in our dealings with the sevaks. Then Krishna is pleased. Then he allows us to remember him. Therefore, the success of the hearer of the Srimad Bhagavatam Maharaj Parikshit was not that he sat at one place and he heard, but as he was hearing, his mind was not a raging tornado of various kinds of negative emotions against Shringi, against Shamik Rishi, against fate, against Krishna, against various circumstances which went against his will. But he was just willing to accept everything as Krishna's will. And he was so favorable in his dealings, even with those who dealt with him negatively. Therefore, in any situation, we could either have a political response, we could have an emotional response, or we could have a devotional response. So there are lots of books and literatures, including Mahabharata, which teach us the political response. There are a lot of self-help books which help us with emotional response. But Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita is preparing our consciousness for the devotional response. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada spent majority of his time writing purports to the Bhagavatam and the Chaitanya Charitamrita, giving a message to the members of ISKCON that we should prepare our devotional life in such a way that when moments of uncertainty and disasters and calamities happen in our life, we should prepare ourselves with the devotional response, not the political response or the emotional response. And unless we study the Bhagavatam, study the Chaitanya Charitamrita and absorb the devotional response, how can we imbibe the devotional response? How can we demonstrate the devotional response? And unless there are devotees in our communities of ISKCON who are demonstrating devotional response when put in difficult circumstances, how will the devotee community at large have faith that devotional response is also a response which we must try to practice and follow? And therefore, the greatest need of the hour today is wonderful examples of devotees who are absorbed and attentive in the practice of Krishna consciousness and attentive in their dealings with devotees, so that they are blessed by the Vaishnava Sangha. That blessings helps them facilitate remembrance of Krishna. If we prioritize regret, revenge, other kinds of negative attitudes, Krishna will be displeased, and that will facilitate forgetfulness of Krishna. And thus our human life will be successful by remembering Krishna by the grace of the Vaishnavas. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Well, I think it's getting late, so you can take announcements.
Hare Krishna, everybody be seated. Announcements, you can announce.
Hare Krishna. If anybody have any questions for His Grace Gauranga Prabhu, they can meet Gauranga Prabhu after program. Okay. So let's thank His Grace Gauranga Prabhu with a loud Haribol! 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 We are also very fortunate to have devotees from Alachua, all the youth from Alachua, led by Krishna Kishore Prabhu. And they are also having a stall outside with their t-shirts. So let's welcome them with a loud Haribol! Haribol! Today's Sunday feast is sponsored by a few families. Balram Nitai Prabhu and Gokul Priya Mataji for the auspicious Purushottam month. Please come forward if they are around. Parth Harmish Patel for auspicious Purushottam Mass. Parth Harmish Patel for auspicious Purushottam Mass. Sarojini Mataji for also auspicious Purushottam Mass. Suresh Bhai Soni and family for Purushottam Mass. Are they around Suresh Bhai Soni and family? Mani Bhai Patel and Prahlad Bhai Patel. Nanda Dulal Prabhu and Savitri Mataji. Nanda Dulal Prabhu and Savitri Mataji. So let's thank them all with a loud Haribol! 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 Yeah, today is the last Sunday of Purushottam Mass. So if anybody else wants to come forward, huh? Yeah. If anybody else wants to come forward, please contact Krishna Anand Prabhu till the end of the feast. Yeah. Some upcoming events. Next Saturday, coming Saturday, June 16th, we are going to have a seminar on global cow culture by His Holiness Bhakti Raghav Swami Maharaj. So the seminar will start from 5 p.m. sharp on Saturday. His Holiness Bhakti Raghav Swami Maharaj, I believe, is coming first time to Yatra and has done wonderful service for a moment. So please attend this wonderful seminar on Global Cow Conference. Haribol, Haribol. Mataji at the back. Can they sit down? Yeah.
I know.
Saturday, June 23rd is Pandav Nijala Ekadasi. Complete fasting. Pandav Nijala Ekadasi. So if Bhima can fast Nijala, so we all can also fast Nijala. That's the idea. And increasing our Krishna consciousness.
There are a bunch of idlis.
June 24th, we'll have Jagannath Snan Yatra here.
There's sambar.
That's it. Yeah, we'll be celebrating that on the June 24th. The actual day is also, we'll have some celebration on June 27th, but our major festivity is going to be on June 24th. Saturday, June 30 is Atlantic City Rath Yatra. Our temple organizes Rath Yatra every year, 3 times a year. This is our major Rath Yatra in Atlantic City on Boardwalk. We'll have buses going from here. So if you like to register your names, many of you went to New York Rath Yatra yesterday. We had 3 buses. So this is our temple Rath Yatra. So if you would like to register yourself, please contact Shankarshan Prabhu. Is he here? Yeah, please stand up, Shankarshan Prabhu. Yeah. So let's also thank him for coordinating the New York Rath Yatra bus with a loud Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. So please give your names if you like to register for the Atlantic City Rath Yatra. The Rath Yatra is from 2 to, starts from 2 p.m. Okay. June 14th, Saturday, June 14th, is the actual day of Jagannath Puri Rath Yatra. We are going to celebrate it in a big way here. July 14th. We are going to replicate Jagannath Puri right here in the temple by celebrating that as a day in Puri. Day in Puri on July 14th and 15th. July 14th, we'll also have Rath Yatra and wonderful dioramas showing Jagannath Puri right here in the temple. So please stay tuned and come forward for that. Last week we had a fundraising drive for the Rath Yatras, and we raised somewhere around 13,500. And since we raised in one day 13,500, and since we have these 3 Rath Yatras as well as the actual day in Puri, we are getting a lot of wonderful paraphernalia from India. We increased the goal from 15 to 25K. So we still have 12K left for covering that. If anybody who has not sponsored last week would like to raise their hands, they can come forward. Is there anybody there? Okay. Yeah, Bhakti Ratnakar Prabhu. 501, okay. Haribol. So let's thank him in the loud. Haribol. Haribol, Haribol. Anybody else? Okay. Mohit Tripathi, 251. Yeah. Okay. Haribol. 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 Yeah, anybody else? Yeah. They can see one of us at the end of the program. Yeah, and also we have from the last week, give me the chadar. Yeah. This chadar which Lord Shamsundar was wearing, right? And we had mentioned that whoever pledges the most will auction that, right? So it's still here. Vatsal Prabhu has his eyes on it. So you can come forward and contact me. Okay, like this. Okay. Any other announcements? Yeah, I won't announce. Okay, we're also going to have a magic show now. Yeah.
And a big Haribol to Madhupati Prabhu. Haribol. Thank you so much. We would like to thank the Central New Jersey congregation for having us, opening your arms and your doors to us. We're very fortunate to come. It's the first time that we're coming and visiting actually our tour. We've been doing it for, we've been leading it for 14 years. And for 14 years, usually when we come to this area, we stay in New York City or we've stayed at the Tawako Temple. But this year was the biggest crew that we've ever had. We have 38 boys traveling with us, and with the chaperones, there's 45 of us traveling. Haribo. So, you know, Madhupati Prabhu, Devikananda Prabhu, they didn't even hesitate. As soon as I asked, do you think you can host 45 kids? They're sure, no problem, we'll figure it out. So we'd like to give a big thank you. And actually, before we continue, I would like to know what time does the Sunday school finish? They're done? I think that they're gonna wanna come here to see the magic show. So if someone can tell the children that there's gonna be a magic show, is a professional magician that he mixes Krishna conscious thoughts within the magic. So it's really nice. So they don't wanna miss that. What? Okay, and please take these cards on your way out for Prashadam. They're at the table over there. And really quick, we just wanted to show you something because we have we recently opened, hold on. We recently registered a nonprofit organization called Our Future Hope, and Our Future Hope is dedicated to providing the youth of ISKCON fun Krishna conscious activities and fun Krishna conscious adventures. And we are doing this one in the summer for 14 years, but we want to continue doing it throughout the fall and the spring and even the winter seasons for your children. So for example, this year we have 38 kids, and only about 6 or 7 of them are from Alachua, from our hometown. Kids have come from Panama, from Puerto Rico, and even from Europe. We've had kids come from Hungary, Russia. We have kids from all over the United States, from Michigan, from Dallas, from California, Laguna Beach, Laguna Beach as well. And so we want to have this program known throughout our ISKCON because it is the only all-boys summer traveling program, or we call the summer trip. It's the only all boys traveling summer camp that exists in ISKCON. So we would like to have all of you know. And it is called Our Future Hope. That's the incorporation. And we've made some wonderful t-shirts, as you can see here. Can you turn around slowly, the models? In the back, it's a verse from the Bhagavad Gita that it talks about the transcendental qualities that belong to godly men that we try to instill within the youth, like, for example, study of the Vedas, freedom from passion, for honor, envy, and anger, fearlessness, steady determination, charity, renunciation, cleanliness, forgiveness, like this. So this program is dedicated to enhance. You guys can turn around now. Thank you. And it's Lorna Sringadev, because Lorna Sringadev, he's been protecting us for every summer. Thanks to Lorna Sringadev, we haven't had any, bad emergencies. And you know what? We even have kid size. So for your children, we have a table over there. Please support Our Future Hope, because they're our future hope. Now, with without further ado, I would like to introduce to you to a magician that he travels far and wide to learning different techniques and tactics and magic to present it in a Krishna conscious way. Please put your hands together for Daratreya Yogeshwara.
Hare Krishna, how's everybody doing? You guys can do better than that. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Awesome, I think you guys are awake and paying attention. Are you guys ready? Awesome, awesome. So we're gonna do some wonderful magic for you guys. A lot of this magic comes straight from India. So you guys may have heard of India before, right? I hope so, good. Let me tighten this real quick. So first comes first. Magic is all about helping one to remember the Lord. Everything we should try to do, we should always want to remember Krishna 24/7, 365. Awesome, we got some kids here in the house. Anybody here a painter? Does anybody here know how to paint? We have some painters in the audience. Awesome, good. This is what we're gonna do here. I want you guys to imagine this is a canvas and you want to paint something about Krishna. When I want to paint about Krishna, this is what I would like to do. Here's my canvas. Everything should remind you of the Lord. I think about the first color I like to use. I think about my wife. My wife's name is Radharani. Can everybody say Radha? Radha. And when we say Radha, we get my wife's favorite color. Pretty good, right? Now, I want everybody to please say, let's do another color. Let's say, Jai Ram. Jai Ram. And when you guys say Jai Ram, we'll get another color. pretty good. Should we do another color? Let's say Krishna? No, how about Baladev? Baladev! What's your name? Adarsh? Adarsh is a very smart kid. He said that yesterday was Rath Yatra, so we should do Jagannath. So since we're going to do Jagannath, who should we do before Jagannath, though? Subhadra. So we say, Subhadra! Subhadra! But now, last but not least, who should we do? Jai Jagannath! Jai Jagannath! We have one. Oh, look. Give yourself a round of applause. You guys have thought of all these colors. One more time, say Jai Jagannath. Jai Baladev. Jai Subhadra. And one more time, Jai Jagannath! Jai Jagannath! I think Lord Jagannath is happy and ready for us to do some more magic. Are you guys ready? Awesome. Like I said, all these things are to help us remember the Lord. I'm going to teach you guys something that you guys can actually go home and do. So if you have parents who aren't here, if you have a brother or sister who's not here, I'm going to teach you how to do it, and then you can go home and do the same thing. Would you guys like to learn? Yeah. How about you parents? Are you guys ready, excited to learn something you can fool your relatives with? Yeah. I'll keep it simple, okay? Don't worry. Can everybody count here? Yeah. Yes? Can everybody say one? No. You got to say ek. Ek. You guys know the game Dominoes? This is a game I used to play with and my father said every time you play this game, you have to say something about Krishna. So one, I would say, Krishna is the supreme personality of God, right? Can you guys say 4? Or chara, right? Is it chara? Ek, do, tin, chara. So I say 4, chara. There's 4 Kumaras. 4 Kumaras, right? So we have Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, right? And we have here the 4 Kumaras, correct? Can you guys say Teen? Ekto Teen, right? What's dominoes? Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra, right? 3. Can you guys say Che? 6, right? 6 dominoes, right? I'm going to teach you how this is done. This is a very, very simple trick. See, I have 1 here, 4 here, 3 here, 6 here, and 1 here again, okay? I'll teach you how it's done. It's very simple to do. I'll teach you the secret. Say, I actually only have 2 dots here. What you have to do is you paint 1 dot in the middle, and then you paint 1 dot on the bottom. If you don't want to put it on the bottom, don't worry, I got you covered. You can paint it right on top. So all you have to do is say, I can make this look like 3 or 1. Do you guys get it? Yes? Make it simple? Very simple. You say, ek. Or I say, ting. It's an illusion. Well, it's really dope, but you make them think there's 1 here. Yeah. Got to pay attention to Darsh. Come on. Same thing here. You have 6, but there's not really 6. Okay, all you got to do is paint 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and 1 right here on my left side. If you don't want to paint it on the left side, don't worry. You can go ahead and paint it on the right side. You get it? So I can make it look like 6, or I can make it look like 4. The cool thing about this is there's going to be a trick, okay? Now you have to remember, when you're covering your hand like this, you got to make it look like 1, okay? You guys follow along? When you do that, if you do that, you're going to mess up. You don't want to have some kid. There's always going to be some kid who, when you're trying to do this trick, some kid in the audience is going to say something weird like, remove your hand every time, okay? You see what I'm saying? Every time, a kid always has to say something. They try to be a smart aleck and say, remove your hand. But if they say that, guess what? You have to remove your hand, okay? And you can fool them, right? Very simple, very simple. You can do the same thing over here. When you're holding here, what? See? They always say it. There's always going to be somebody who does that. But when they do that, guess what? You're always ready for them. So I have 3 on this side, and how many do I have on the other side? How many do I have on the other side, Adarsh? 6? You said 6? No, so you got to pay attention. This is actually 8. Okay? This is actually 8. Stay in school, Adarsh. Stay in school. Thank you very much. Would you guys like to see some more? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Who can tell me, where does Krishna live? Say it out loud. Vrindavan. Would you like to learn a trick that comes straight from Vrindavan? I will teach you guys this trick. This here is a rope trick. This rope is a very special rope. And the reason it's a special rope is because it comes from a very special time. It is a descendant of a descendant of a descendant of the very same rope that was tied around Krishna's belly in the month of Kartik. Really. No, this rope was born from another rope, which was born from another rope, which was born from another rope, which came from the rope that Mother Yasoda used, okay? Now the cool thing about this rope is every rope has 2 ends and 1 middle. If I had 2 ropes, how many ends would I have? 4. What if I had 3 ropes? 6. Here's a special question. What would happen if I had a rope and a half? How many ends would I have? Oh, he said it. I'd actually have 3 ends like this. I'd have 3 ends and 1 middle like this. Now, I know it doesn't make any sense, but you know what the thing is? We can also have 4 ends because this is a rope from Vrindavan. So he knows. It's very simple. All you have to do is have a very special rope from Vrindavan. But I told you the secret. Whenever you have 4 ends, you actually have 2 ropes. So I have 1 rope here and 1 rope here. Huh? Pretty good, eh? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a knot in this rope. I'm going to call this rope Radha. Everybody please say Radha. Right? And we'll call this one Govinda. So we're going to have a Radha loop and a Govinda loop. Radha's over here. Radha will be here, and Govinda will be here. 500 years ago, a very special incarnation came about. That was Radha and Krishna together. Do you guys know that? Who that was? Say the name out loud. Lord Chaitanya, also known as Gauranga. Can you guys please say, Gauranga? And you get 1 big loop. So now this is a Gauranga loop. I'll teach everybody how to do this. Don't worry, kids, you'll learn too. All you need is a rope. Take a rope, rip it off one of your mom's saris, or take your daddy's shoelaces, and you need to tie a knot. Everybody can tie a knot. Actually, don't do that at your parents' house. Do it at your friend's house, okay? You take a rope, and you got to tie a knot. Take the knot and turn it into nothing. And anytime something turns into nothing, guess what? You can make it into something with the special magic words that you guys already know. Can you guys please say, Gauranga? And you'll get the loop right back. Very special, Gauranga. Now we're doing all this magic with the ropes, with the ends. We're going to forget about the ends, and we'll just use the rope. I'll take the ends, and I'm going to tuck them into the dhoti over here. Don't look. With the ends tucked into my dhoti over here, it is impossible to tie a knot in the rope like this. it's also just as impossible to undo a knot, like this. And when I can undo knots, I can actually pop off the ends, and I'm left with the endless rope. What do you have over there? Okay, he caught me. Toss it up here. I'll be honest about my dishonesty. I actually have 2 ends without any rope and a rope without any ends. But you guys are going to put them back together. All you got to do is say the magic words, Govinda! 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 And you'll actually watch the ends melt right back onto the rope. Pretty good, eh? Would you guys like to see some more? Yeah? All right, let's do some more. I'm going to teach some kids who don't know how to drive something very special about driving. What does green mean? Go. What does red mean? What does yellow mean? Oh, you guys already know. We don't need to do that trick. Okay, he already knows the trick, so you don't have to watch. What I'm going to do is, I want to teach you a very special lesson about Krishna consciousness. I got 3 balls. Each ball represents something. The one on top represents Krishna. Red generally means power, so we say red means Krishna. Yellow is going to represent family. Yellow will represent family. And green, who can tell me what green means? Guess. Look, he said it. He knows it already. You guys are prepping him for college. Great. Green means money. So we have red, yellow, and green. What goes, I'll tell you, what goes on the bottom? In case you guys forgot, we have it right there for you guys. Money goes first. What goes next? All together. Family. And next goes on top. Krishna. Krishna always goes on top. If you forget the order, Darsh, don't worry. I have it right here for you. All right? So I don't want you to forget. If you forget, just look here. You're welcome. So, as a child, as an adult, as a young adult, I was going to college. I tried to have everything right in the right order. What goes first? Out loud, I can't hear you guys. No, what goes on the bottom? What goes on? Money goes on the bottom. What goes next? Family. What goes next? Krishna. On the outside, it looked like I was doing everything right. I was there. I'd go to the temple, but I wasn't really paying attention. It looked like I was dealing with my family. Money's on the bottom, but really, inside my mind, I wasn't doing that. I'll show you what was really going on. I was worried about a girlfriend and friends and playing sports. Then I wanted to make lots of money. And then Krishna was the last thing on my list. That's the wrong order. So sit down so they can see behind you. I'll show you, don't worry. What goes first? Money's on the bottom. What's in the middle? You can't see, can you see? You see? If you forget, I got you here. Don't worry, I got you covered. Just look here. What's on the bottom? What's next? This one? Do you think I was paying attention? Let me show you what I would do. During class, I would look like I was chanting my japa in class. But guess what? I wasn't really chanting japa. I had my phone and I was playing games. Horrible. Don't ever do that. You can see, look, I was out of order. I was out of order. Again, I'm out of order. Want to know what got me into order? I'll show you what got me into order. What goes on the bottom? Money? Look, we'll show you on the inside of my heart. We want to put here. Is that right? Do you want to put it? No. Everybody sit back, wait. Sit down. You got to be sitting down. You got to be sitting back. Sitting back. Back, back, back. You got to pay attention. Put your hands down. I'm going to think of a very special person to help me, okay? But you got to be paying attention. All right. What goes first? Put your hand in the air. Catch it. What goes next? Can you catch? Now, I want you to put money in first. I want you to put family in next. So you guys can see it looks like it's in the right order. If things aren't in the right order, things can go awry, like microphone stands can undo themselves. We'll cover it up so it looks like everything's in the right order. But here's the secret. Even though it looked like I had Krishna on top, Krishna, I wasn't paying attention to. Krishna, I had tossed aside. Very bad, right? Very bad. But the good thing is Krishna's so merciful. Like Jagai and Madai, even when you offend Krishna and you offend his devotees, if you can take one step towards Krishna and chant the holy name, can everybody please say, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That when you take one step towards Krishna, Krishna can take 100 steps towards you. But you have to chant sincerely. So, Jai Jagannath! And just like that, Krishna can appear in your heart. I'm Deditray Yogeshwar. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna! And now I believe it is time for prasadam. If you like the show and you like what we do, if you would like to see some of your kids on this trip next year, please send them on out to, we'll be here and have a fun. Go get a shirt and they can come on out.
8:30 curtain will be open. Please come for Shaina Arati and Jagannath Ashtam followed by Radha Krishna Pranam.